everyone. Welcome to the Field and Garden Podcast. I'm Jessie from the Gardener's Workshop. Today's episode is a chat that Lisa recently had with Debra Prinzing to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the Slow Flowers podcast. As part of the festivities, Slow Flowers is re-airing selected episodes from each year of the podcast, and Debra chose Lisa's episode for the second year, which was 2014. During the conversation, which originally aired on Instagram Live, Lisa and Debra get a rare chance to reminisce and catch up. So listen in, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm Debra Prinzing, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to join me in our second week of celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Slow Flowers podcast. The Slow Flowers podcast started in 2013. Here it is 2023. And to celebrate every week for 10 weeks, I'm inviting one of my special guests from each year of the decade to join me and have a little conversation, a little, replay, a little throwback. So today our guest will be Lisa Mason Ziegler of the Gardener's Workshop. She'll be joining us pretty soon. Oh, here she is. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning. How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. I see you're good too. We're both outside. It's such a delightful weather this week.
We arrived in Philadelphia yesterday and I was like, where is the humidity? This is amazing. It's so beautiful.
It's like April in August.
Is it like that in Virginia
yes.
too?
We were in the high 90s all last week, cooking alive, and it was actually 68 degrees here. I think it was Monday night. It was like, wait a minute, did I leave the state? What's going on here? So yeah, it's really, really super nice.
Well, I'm such a wimp being from Seattle. We never have humidity. So I was nervous about coming out here to Philly and New York this week. But boy, I'm so glad you could meet me and we can talk about gardening and Slow Flowers and the Gardener's Workshop. I'm just thrilled. As I started to say before you joined, this is our 10-week celebration of 10 years of the Slow Flowers podcast. And I'm inviting a special guest from each of the years. So you're my special guest from year 2, 2014. Do you remember that when we did that podcast interview?
I do. We were, where were we? In Vancouver, I think?
No, Pittsburgh for the Garden Writers Conference.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the year. Yes. I mean, congratulations, first off. I mean,
thanks.
It's like when you're in the ditches doing it every day, you just don't realize how time is passing by, right? Yeah, that I do remember us. We were sitting in the restaurant, I think, of the hotel we were at for the Garden Writers Association, which is now Garden Communicators.
Right.
That was great. I do remember.
Well, I was delighted to meet you there. We found out we were at a special party, I think, for St. Len's Press, a publisher that we both had done books with. And I knew about you because I had originally bought online, ordered your self-published cutting garden design book. I can't even remember the name of that.
The Easy Cut Flower Garden. Oh my gosh, what a blast from the past.
Well, like a shed with massive amounts of sunflowers and zinnias in front of it. Like who wouldn't want to replicate that? So I ordered that. So I knew about you by reputation. And then we met and you had a brand new book coming out, your book, Cool Flowers, which kind of started it all, Lisa, for you, at least in teaching. And I just spontaneously said, can we sit down and do an interview? And this was before video. We just did it audio.
Right.
We're posting that today and as a replay video, so people can find that at anywhere you listen to podcasts on slowflowerspodcast.com. But I had to get the woman live and chat with her a bit. So how did things change for you after the Cool Flowers book came out? I mean, that is like the reference book for anyone who's trying to get started and be more of a year-round gardener.
Yeah.
A flower gardener.
Yeah, it really did. I kind of found through the off season back in the beginning of time when I first started farming, you think you don't do anything in the winter. Well, nothing could be further from the truth, right? But so I filled my winters up with speaking and teaching to garden clubs and master gardeners, and just really found that teaching was really my gift. And now I had this amazing tool to use. I had been talking about cool season hardy annuals for years. I mean, like I was flipping people left and right, realizing that they could really grow certain flowers in their area if you just plant them at the right time, you know? And that just changed it all for me. And so Cool Flowers sells more today than it did when it first came out, which is incredibly backwards of what books usually do.
Yeah,
Um,
you're what they call a strong backlist book.
yeah,
That's
there you
amazing
go.
because this your book. So next year will be the 10th anniversary of that book.
I didn't even realize
I
that.
know.
Yes,
You got to
yes,
do something fun with that. Let's
yeah,
let's let's plan something. But you know what's so interesting is like you unlocked this mystery for people, because a lot of it you said you started because you didn't start cutting growing a cut flower garden until the fall. So that was just sort of your go-to solution,
right.
right?
Yeah, I just had to find something to plant because I was all pumped after reading Lynn Bazinski's book, The Flower Farmer, and just thought, didn't she say something about that maybe I could plant snapdragons in the fall? And, you know, I was a new seed starter. And I was a new gardener slash flower farmer. And I thought, let's pick one of what people consider to be one of the hardest crops to start from seed, which I had immediate success just because I was following, you know, Elliot Coleman's steps of soil blocking, which is just such a great, healthy, easy way to start seeds. And, you know, that just kind of opened the door and I just marched through it, you know?
Wow. Wow. Well, I was so impressed when I met you. I felt like you were so generous with your advice to me. I mean, I remember you telling me about your whole online, well, I don't even know if it was an online store at the time. It was your whole like tools and
Yeah.
seed starting supplies
Yep.
that you had a store that you would take to your lectures and how
Yep.
hungry people were for access to those things that were hard for the home gardener to get at the time.
Yeah.
That's really proven to continue. These today, people still want they want what the pros have,
Yeah.
right?
So as I began to lecture more and more, and we had started a small online garden shop basically, and Suzanne and I, my sister, we were like two pack mules, right? I mean, we would pack my flower delivery van. All winter we would do this. We would pack that van slam full of stock of the stuff that was related to what I was teaching about, drag it in. I mean, we had every kind of cart known to mankind. We would drag this stuff in and then sell like gangbusters after the program because I just revealed to the people how they can do it. And look, in the back of the room is everything you need. And it's
I love
stuff that
it.
they can't find down at the, you know, on the garden center shelves. Why? Because they need somebody there to tell you how to use it. I mean, it was like a marriage made in heaven, right? And that's just kind of spiraled out of control. And we've just, you know, I've spent the last 10 years really trying to build our business to create a platform that supports flower farmers from starting to growing their business and then dealing with the day-to-day issues through education, our online courses, and then through the most important thing, support. And we do that through our private communities that come along with our big school courses. And they're pretty priceless. And just like Cool Flowers, you know, we have sold a lot. I mean, we have thousands and thousands of students in our schools. And while we have been very successful in that arena, we are learning now that people are finally getting it. It's like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, learn from people, experts that have actually done it, practical application, and then they're willing to pop in and out of these communities to answer that burning question that maybe, I mean, and to have the support of other people that have put their rubber in the game too, because you know
Yeah.
better than I do, there is so much information out there. And which information is correct and true? Which do you listen to? Where is the exact thing that I need to actually, who do I need to listen to, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, I remember when we were at, I think it was 2000, must have been 2016 at an ASCFG conference, and we sat down in the lobby of the hotel, and you told me, look, I'm going to start this online course for
yeah,
basically for beginning flower farmers. And well, you must have launched the following year. I mean,
yeah,
it was, you had your plan, and I don't even know if that back then you could have predicted what the Gardener's Workshop would have mushroomed into. So talk us a little bit about how that process went. When was your first course? Now you said you've trained over 1,000 aspiring flower
Oh,
farmers. That's
thousands,
epic.
many
Oh,
thousands. Yeah.
that's
And
well, it's like an exponential effect. You don't
right.
even know how far it's reaching, probably.
It's true. And so, in funniest story ever, in 2016, right before I saw you, I had just taken an online course on how to build online courses,
Yes,
believe it
I
or not.
remember that with Teresa, right?
Teresa Lowe, yes.
Yes.
And
Oh my gosh.
so Teresa, she did it she doesn't even do it anymore,
Right.
doesn't do that.
No.
And
Mm-mm.
so she only offered it at like for small groups of people and only a couple of times a year. So when she offered it, believe it or not, in the middle of the summer, I instantly sent her my money. It's like, I have got to have this, right? Because just like our courses, you have lifetime unlimited access. You do not have to consume it all when you
Right.
actually purchase it. You have
Right.
it
Right.
forever. So I took it, and then literally I was so overwhelmed I sat on it. So the winter of 2017, early winter, I started going back in and watching it again and again and again. And then we started building it, and it launched, the first launch of Flower Farm in School. We did a small launch. We have my first course was Cool Flowers Beyond the
Oh,
Book.
I remember
The book,
that. Yeah.
yeah, the book was written for the home gardener. As we know, that's the widest audience your publisher wants you to, write to. So I take in that course, which is just a picture, it's just me standing there giving you the lowdown. It takes those home gardener steps and applies it to Flower Farm. And that was my first one. Well, it was an overnight success. And that fueled me to jump into the big course. And then, as students were like, all right, we now have this under our belt. We want to grow bulbs. We want to grow woodies. And I started then adding experts slowly but
Mm-hmm.
surely. And our
Mm-hmm.
courses are education. They are not entertainment. They are, I mean, we actually had a complaint from a student that said, this course is like reading an encyclopedia and watching an encyclopedia. It's like, that was music to our ears. We
Oh,
want to
you're like, what do you
provide,
think? What do you think you signed up for? A
I
party?
mean, it's like this is about doing it. People that really want to start and sustain a business and doing what they love. And that's what the courses are all
Yeah.
about. And then, of course, our product line has grown right along beside that. And I mean, I have a team of 17 people now.
That is
And
mind blowing.
yeah, we bought a warehouse 3 years ago, the first year of the pandemic, and we quickly outgrew it. And we bought a second warehouse, which we just took possession of 2 weeks ago. It's had a renter in it, and we're now preparing to move into a bigger facility to facilitate, I mean, our seed packing. I mean, it's just people are hungry. And then we have, Deborah, then you add on the wannabe flower farmers who are the home gardeners that just want to grow like the pros.
Right. Right.
And so
Your original audience.
so we try to help everybody. And that our motto is just to be generous, and when people do need something beyond that, they come to us for it, is what our
Yeah.
goal is.
Wow. Congratulations. I am so happy to see how it's taken off. And, you know, there was a need and no one was fulfilling it. And you stepped into that space and it's just blown up. And we've both kind of been amazed in the last decade, especially at this explosion of people wanting
Yeah.
to connect with nature through cut flowers. And, we both have sort of similar paths, but different spaces. Like, I could never teach someone how to be a flower farmer. I can like inspire them about the reasons for doing that.
Right.
But you're making it accessible, and I just congratulations, and fun to look back at where this conversation started. What's coming up? When are your next courses that you're launching? Just so people can get this on their, and I know they can go to the Gardener's Workshop at any time and sign up to be on the list to find out about your launches. But what do you have coming up in the fall?
Actually, the year of 2023 has been a transition year for our courses. So we have learned after several years of launching courses, that we are now transitioning. My course and Dave Dowling's course have already, and Ellen's course, Ellen Frost courses have already made it. They're now on demand.
Okay.
You can go to our website at any time and purchase Flower Farm and School the Basics or Flower Farm and School the Bulbs with Dave and Ellen's course, and you get the entire course immediately.
Got it.
And then you still have access to the private community where you can ask us questions, because here's what we have spent the last year doing. We have invested in an employee that has full-time been keyword stamping and time stamping our huge courses. So that means that you can go into your course anytime, go to the little magnifying glass and type in what your problem is, and it brings up the list of all the areas you can find that, whether it's in a session or it's in one of the hours and hours of Q&As where the instructors are answering it. So we have taken it from a school that you have to wait for and then go through to a tool that you have in your pocket to use anytime you want it.
So it's like you've indexed the classes then.
Exactly.
So,
they're cataloged. Yep.
I know that it's easier said than done. Obviously, if you've had to dedicate one employee just to index all those 3 courses,
right?
Maybe there's more.
And the other 2 will be coming on. So the Farmer Florist with Jenny Love will actually be done this fall, as well as Stephen Gretel's Growing Cut Flowers in Hoops and Greenhouses. So all of those will be that way. So that's the big news for this year. And for 2024, I have a new book coming out called The Cut Flower Handbook, which we are super excited through Cool Spring Press again. I have a plane flying over. Sorry if that's loud.
No, I'm just laughing because you like jumped ahead on my outline. I was like, oh, I was going to ask her about the book, but she just told us about it.
Yeah.
The cover's beautiful. We're going to post it in our show notes today for episode 652, slowflowerspodcast.com. It looks like the word handbook in the title sort of gives it away. You're going deep, deeper than you've ever given in terms of collecting cool and warm cut flower, everything you need to know, right?
Interesting backstory. I pitched it as the Cool Flowers Handbook. You know what I mean? More because there's more flowers, and
and
they came back and said, why are we going to leave the warms out? So that is super exciting. That'll be out in February, and we're just doing a lot of really fun things with that. And then we have another big course on the horizon that's coming along, a couple actually, that'll come out in 2024. And so we're super excited. And if anybody wants to keep up, they just have to sign up to get our farm news, and that's where breaking news happens all the time. So, and Debra,
I love it.
Appreciate your presence too, because it's a hard road. I was just yesterday talking about, everybody thinks when you're the first to do something that you're the luckiest. And in fact, that is not true at all. I had to beg, borrow, and steal for Paul Kelly to take the risk on me about Cool Flowers, because it was the opposite of what everybody else said. It's like, wait a minute, our grandmas did this. I'm not making this up. But look how long it took for that momentum. And the same thing with the local flower deal. And I think that it's the best kept secret. I think Ellen Frost's business model, which is the way that flower shops used to be, decades ago, is the future of the cut flower industry. And we just are just pounding away trying to get people to understand what that's about. And her course is now on demand too. That was part of it. That was our lead. It was like, we have to make Ellen's course available to anybody that wants to sell and include local flowers, and started it all.
I love that. That's really, really timely too, because it's almost like you're disrupting the model of online courses. And for your instructors, if they can have an on-demand course, they're maybe not locked into a schedule of, because I've done this with my writing course. Like every week you've got the open office hours, and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not convenient for people. So it's sort of this model you're coming up with is great, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Lisa, somebody just put a question in here asking if I would put a link to pre-order the Cut Flower Handbook in our show notes, which I will, but I believe that some online sellers already have pre-orders. I don't want to name names and give anyone, any big guerrilla business, but people can probably order it from your website too, right?
Yeah, so anywhere you purchase it benefits me. Okay, so that's the bottom line. However, when you get on, you can't pre-order from us, but you can get on the wait list to be notified. And what will come with the book when you purchase it through us is additional resources.
I saw
Like
that. Like the
yeah,
ones that all the flowers that you couldn't fit in the book, you're going to give
yes,
a bonus resource to people.
yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
mean, we had to cut flowers. And so that will be the additional resource. And we're working on some other fun things. And also, once you get on that wait list, we may be sending out some emails with, behind the scenes backstory kind of stuff. And so, yeah, so
Okay.
you can find that on our phone app. We have a shop and show, so we have a phone app. It's in there. You can get on the wait list there or on our big website, either one of those. But bottom line is, wherever you buy it benefits me. And in
Okay.
fact, the big elephant in the room, the pre-order, the bigger their pre-orders are, drives the future of my book for booksellers. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate people wherever they actually purchase.
All right, I like that. Well, Lisa, we'll obviously do some kind of giveaway and promotion when it comes out in February too. So let's put that on the calendar. Before we go, first of all, thank you so much to the Gardeners Workshop for all of your support of the Slow Flowers movement in the past 5 or 6 years. You've been a financial supporter. I can't tell you how much that means to us for our Slow Flowers Summit. You just sent out really fun seed packets for our attendees to have in their gift bags. I wish you had been there, but I know the timing isn't always ideal. But I just want to thank you publicly for that. And would you take a minute just to kind of reflect on the last decade of what you've seen and how things have changed, either in consumer attitudes or the confidence of flower farmers and farmer florists to really embrace this as a viable, agricultural lifestyle? I mean, there's
Right.
just so much that you've witnessed. I'd love to have you share that with people.
Sure. So I think as flower farming, which is pictured as this glamorous, wonderful business, which it is, but that's 1%. So back when it first started really rolling, when it was really becoming known, we had this huge influx of people that were interested, that were going from, I want to do it, to being there overnight. And we had a lot of that. And a lot of us, particularly that were in the education business, really felt like, gosh, we're out here picking up the broken pieces of people that have jumped into this head first without any knowledge, education, or information.
They were
And
just seduced by the flowers, and they just thought,
exactly, they're
"Oh, how hard can it
intoxicated.
be?"
And
Yeah.
and then the fallout from that was, you can't, this job is way too hard, it's too labor intensive. And it just really kind of was a backlash.
Yeah.
And there was a few of us that used to commiserate together. That's like, oh my gosh, if I have to say one more time, these poor people, because we have the servant's teacher's heart, right? You're out there trying to pick it up. But we've seen the corner turned. Now that we have educated so many people that they are now educating people. So funny. So, we have an advertising person that runs our ads, and we do heavy investment, there, as anybody that wants to reach more people has to do. And you get all kinds of comments, from trolls to haters to all kinds of stuff. And I try not to look at them, because,
Yeah.
they're like personal insults to
Yeah.
me, right?
I'm
I mean,
with
that's
you
the
on that.
joy
Yeah.
of been there,
Their
done it, right,
heart's too
Debra?
big. Yeah.
Yeah. So what has started happening now is 9 out of 10 times when I do have a moment, and an ad will come across my feed, and I'll see that there's 100 comments. I'll scroll through, and then there's somebody there, and guess what? When I think, oh, I've got to address that, you look down, it's our students that are jumping in and saying, oh no, that in fact is not true. I am doing it. I've learned. And so I feel like we've
Mm-hmm.
turned the corner. There's
Mm-hmm.
more of us now
Yeah.
that are educated, what I call professionals. That's
Yeah.
my goal, is to create professional
Yeah.
flower farmers, not somebody that's slapjacking it along and making the rest of us look bad and driving prices down and just giving us a bad face. So it's
I
turned.
I love that, and it's all about community. It's like all of a sudden, then you're empowering your students and we're empowering our members to be our spokespeople and to be advocates for this movement that is lifting all boats and basically changing the floral marketplace for everyone.
You know,
So
I'm
I
glad
love
you
that.
said that. You know, one of the things I feel is probably undervalued for people that haven't experienced it yet, but in the private communities with other students, other people that have paid their money to take the course and are there, that have the same goal for building a business, you know, they are free to express distress, successes. You don't have to worry about anybody thinks, and you can count on the answers that you get are based on those same values that you have. Because let me tell you, I know that you see it on social media. I read some things and think, holy cow, no wonder it's taken us so long to get where we are today, because people are practicing some crazy things. Do you know what I mean? And the confidence you build from hanging out with people that have your same like-mindedness is so important in my opinion. And we've come a long way.
And it takes that kind of collective chorus of all of us moving in the same direction. That's what I feel in the last 10 years that we've really seen. We're not in this alone. Lisa Ziegler is not hauling around tools and soil blockers in her van anymore. You're reaching the globe. And I feel, you know, very much that I'm not pushing a boulder uphill by myself, talking about we've got to support local flower farmers. We've got to be sustainable. Now it's much more of well, at least maybe we live in a bubble, Lisa, but it's in the zeitgeist. And I really appreciate the kind of conversations that you have now where you don't have to explain what it is you're doing, right?
Yeah.
People understand that, oh, you're a flower farmer. Oh, you're helping advocate for local flowers. Oh, that's really cool. I understand. I've seen that happen in the food industry. So that makes sense that it happens in flowers. And I feel like it's a lot easier now.
It is very true.
Yeah. And thank you for being the person that's opened the door for so many. So I'm so glad you said yes when I asked you if you would do this. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Just congratulations on 10 years. You know, we're about to hit probably next week, maybe 1 million listens to our podcast. And I totally understand. It's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
I know.
How is this possible?
Right.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say, isn't next year your 25th anniversary for the Gardener's Workshop?
This year is my 25th.
This is my 25th year. So much to celebrate. That's amazing, Lisa. Excellent.
Yes.
I want everyone who's watching are probably already in your feed, but if not, you know how to follow Lisa at what is your Instagram, Lisa? I don't see it up here.
Gardener's Workshop Farm.
Gardener's Workshop Farm. Okay, great. And then of course, if you want to listen to that, a 2014 podcast, which actually is not like dated or anything. Everything in it is, I just re-listened to it. It's
I did too. I listened to it the day that you asked me, and I thought, you know what? Other than maybe I forget some event or something that was coming up that had a date, everything is still just so relevant. And because you know what, Debra, is that not true? Basic good information, the foundation information doesn't really change. Technology can change about the way you might do it, but the roots are the same, and that's what we really,
I felt the same way.
Try to provide.
I'm like, this stuff is timeless, people. Go back and listen to it. It's really fun. Lisa, thank you so much. I wish you a good, cool rest of the day here on the East Coast. I'm going to enjoy it myself and have a listen to our vintage conversation because it's, as I said, very timeless. And Lisa, thanks so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Debra. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll chat again sometime soon.
Okay, that sounds great. For sure in February when the book comes out.
Thank you.
Care. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, welcome back. Wasn't that nice? So I've included a link in the show notes to the Slow Flowers podcast episode number 621, which is the recent re-airing of that original 2014 interview. And I encourage you to check that out. So that's all today, friends. If you like what you're hearing here on the Field and Garden podcast, we'd love it if you'd tell a friend about us and leave a review for us wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Jessie from the Gardener's Workshop, and I hope you have a great day.